Thank you for joining. Welcome to the Eavesdrop podcast. We got a great show in store for you guys, so stay tuned. Todd, how you doing?
I'm feeling great, Ruben. I appreciate you asking today.
Nice. Mr. Paul?
I'm doing good, man. Can't complain. We're here yet again.
Hey, I love it. Well, we have a special guest. I'm going to have a lot of fun saying this name. But we have Nora Veronica Reynoso.
That's right. Lo dijiste bien.
Mother, grandmother, author of Rescuing Myself, and a 2-time world natural bodybuilder.
World champion, yes. Retired now.
Yeah, 2-time world champion. I missed that, yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Born and raised in Southern California, now traveling the world, shedding light.
Yes.
I think I have an idea of what that means just in the short time I've been knowing you.
Ya ves, Ruben, aquí rapidito.
So we asked some questions, that way we could get this story going. And there's some answers that you gave. And so obviously if you put these answers down, they're significant to you. So I'd love to be able to hear you expand upon them. But I guess in your 40s, you say that your mother passed away.
Yes.
And
she passed away, and we know that our parents are going to pass away. It's like the rules of life, but you're never prepared. It doesn't matter how old you are. I felt, what maybe a depression feels like, but it was a loss, and it was just trying to mourn and just trying to deal with that. And so, but that was the beginning of a transformation at one point, because then, when you have those moments where it breaks your routine, right? And then you really look within and you're like, well, what's really left? Like what really matters? And so I believe that was, a big part of my transformation, of really believing of like what's real and what's not and what matters at the end.
Right. I think I tied 3 things together. It was the fact of your mother's passing. And it led to an instance or probably a duration of being unhappy, but you were unhappy with the outer of yourself and the inner of yourself.
Right. So I had achieved a lot of stuff in my life. I had done everything that the world had conditioned me to do. I was very good at everything. I owned a bail bond company for over 20 years, and I was great at a man's world. I used everything I had of being a woman. I advertised at the Playboy Mansion. I partied there all the time, and I made a lot of money, and I thought that money would bring me happiness because we're immigrants. So I learned really quick that we needed money, right? And that money would, bring, change, opportunities.
Correct.
And so I worked at a young age. I started working at the age of 13. My sister had a restaurant, so I was a waitress and got up early and did all that good stuff. And by the time I was 30, I owned my own company, a bail bond company.
That's interesting.
And I was very successful.
Yeah.
I mean, ¿a quién le iban a hablar? The cute little girl, I was 30 years old, Are you going to call me, or are you going to call the guy that's like 300 pounds with the beard down here to bail you out? Usually they would call me. And then before that, I did, a lot of stuff. I worked at restaurants. I worked as a Budweiser girl. So I knew that, that attracted people as well. So
where did the part come into play when you started gaining weight?
Well, because even though you're not taking note, your body's taking note. Now, what comes with the parties? La comida, el trago, the no sleep. How are you going to recover your body? Yeah. None of that. I mean, yeah, I was tiny all the time and cutesy and everything, but there's going to be a time in your life that your body, all the shit that you did, your body's going to, it's going to like atorarse. Yeah, you can't do much. I started getting the aches and pains. I started going, like, wait a minute, what's going on? I can't bend down.
Changes.
And I was like, is this it?
So this happened. So when you were getting going, what was overweight in your book? In your definition of overweight, what was overweight for you?
35 pounds.
Okay.
More.
Okay. So not.
I'm 5'3", 5'2". Well, I'm 5'3" on a good day.
But it wasn't something like where you were
standing next to you guys. I don't know.
You weren't like 100 though. You weren't
Huh?
like 100 overweight. You weren't like 100 pounds overweight.
No. I didn't let it go that
But
far.
35 already was something enough.
Well, I was always like very, about like how I looked. I didn't have to really work too much at it. But you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and not take care of yourself. Like you got to give your body a rest. Your body is going to accumulate these pounds. So by the time I'm 40, I'm 35 pounds over. The people maybe were not noticing as much because I would dress appropriately. I would wear, loose stuff, or whatever. I saw that and it was like I saw myself in the mirror. It was getting ready for a New Year's or a Christmas, right? And I'm trying to find something to wear. Nothing fits me. Even, I'm like crying in the closet, I put something stretchy and that was the day I was like, I gotta do something, and I still drank that day. And I was great at the Bucanas, it was like drink a bottle each, party till 5 in the morning. We were great I was great at it. I
Good
was
party
really
animal.
good at it. I mean, I didn't do anything else, but I did drink. I decided in the new year, I was like, I'm gonna do something because I did everything that the world told me to do, and I'm not freaking happy. Now I'm fat because I was like, I'll never wear a two-piece, I had just gone on a vacation. Someone asked me how many months I was. Like,
Oh
what?
no. Oh no,
And
that's
I
the
was with a
dreaded
young
question.
boyfriend at a time,
Oh
and the guy got all
no.
upset, and it was this
Sheesh.
Oh,
whole
no.
ordeal. And I did something because I didn't like. It was really about vanity. It really was. It was really because I didn't like the outer shell.
Mm.
And
and you say you didn't like the inner, and so what was the inner like? Negative?
well, the
angry?
inner, no, it was definitely of the world. Like my boyfriend was 17 years younger than I was. I was definitely the original boss babe, I call it. I was like a boss
Wow.
babe before it was a thing.
That's cool.
um,
Trending.
and I
He
didn't.
said trendy.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. It was in 2013. We did a pilot for a reality show, and they contacted me because my cars were hot pink, and the logo was kind of like a kind of the shadow of my body,
your
and then
silhouette.
my silhouette, and then my employees, and my employees were always beautiful girls because I had that concept of
That's
like
cool.
Budweiser, right? Just
Yeah.
hire a bunch of pretty girls, and people, they'll want to go to you,
You're the
right?
female version of Hugh Hefner.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Well, when I would walk
She
into
learned
the
a lot, I guess.
no, when I would walk into the mansion, I would always dress like sexy, but with like suits and stuff,
Oh,
like
that's cool.
very much. And then my girls, they were in lingerie because they wanted to. I was just, and I would be gambling because a lot of the times they would be gambling, because I love 21. But I was great at it, but it didn't make me happy at the end of the day. So I was doing, the young boyfriends, they kept getting younger and younger to the point that, the last one's like 17 years younger than me. And I had all the money, like I was making a lot of money. I was able to do anything I wanted. I had friends that were like I was in the middle of everything, but still wasn't like being filmed or anything, you know what I mean? But then when we did this pilot, because of the car, because we were like one of my employees had the car in Hollywood,
Mhm.
and they saw it, and it was this big buff guy because it was the bounty hunter, my ex-boyfriend. To make a long story short, they filmed us. And when I saw what they focused on, wow.
Mm.
Wasn't good?
They focus on the negative all the time, right? And they focus on all your flaws.
Mm.
And we don't see our damn flaws most of the time. Don't have most now with social media, it's different because there's cameras everywhere. But still not to that point where they're going to be in your face.
Wow.
And when you see yourself, you're like, what the fuck?
That wasn't me.
No, at least for me, it was like, whoa. That was that time,
So did that contribute to the fact that you were already having these inner?
Yeah, I was having these battles like with my weight, with my mom's loss. Then, there was just so much going on. And I made this book in 2018 and I published in 2019. And I've been on a lot of interviews. And the one that they always focus after reading the book was because it's always the negative, right? Again. And it was, I went to take my granddaughter to Chuck E. Cheese. And when I went into the restroom, there was someone hiding there and it was a rape attempt.
Damn.
Okay. And it was 4 months after my mom had passed. It was my first outing. And that was, and so that's what they would concentrate, right? And every time I did these interviews, they did this one on Univision and they totally focus on that because they always focus on the negative. And I was like, I have so much more to say, They gave me 30 seconds and I didn't know what to say in 30 seconds, It's like, it's not enough time. So I came out of that interview and in that moment I said, God, what could I have said that would be so profound that it could change someone's life, that they can make the right decision? Like, what can I say? Because, shit, I didn't ask to almost get raped, and I had to fight or whatever. So again, doing those interviews, I asked God, what can I say? And just like that, I got Noah, Noah.
Noah.
Okay. N for nutrition, O for opportunity, A for action and accountability, and H for history. Just like that. Because even if we have 30 seconds or if we have 2 hours, I can go into so much in just those things like nutrition. I could be hours talking to you about nutrition. Like I talk about intermittent fasting.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because intermittent fasting, it's nothing new. It's in the Bible over 40 times. Most religions talk about fasting so you can connect.
Mm-hmm.
I myself connect on an empty stomach much more when I do my spiritual videos. I don't eat and I try not to wear any makeup so I could just be my spirit and not worry about the ego.
Mm-hmm.
So because I was very much about the ego, I try to be very aware. I'm human. We have everything and we need to be able to use it correctly. But most of us are very ego driven because we've been in that masculine energy. And I know for me, even though being a woman, I was in that masculine energy for a long time and I was really good at it. I was better than most men.
Damn.
Like I really
take it
chopped
personal.
guys'
Didn't take it
balls off. Like I had bigger balls, than most guys. I did it all. Like I was very masculine. And now understanding that we're in a new time and that new time is about being your true self, your true identity. I literally made a video about that today. It was about, the Trinity and the woman and who we're supposed to be and allow men to be, who they are, a divine masculine, right? Allow someone to protect you, not, oh, wait, I got this, because that was me. I think the balance is a beautiful unity, but we've been brainwashed, right?
Mhm.
So again, going back to the whole thing with Noah and like really getting down to what's important, the number one thing is always nutrition. And when I talk about nutrition, I talk about every sense of the body, what the body needs and what the body could do, like the frequency, right? Like we're talking about food, right? We're
Mhm.
putting it in our body.
Mm-hmm.
We just said a cheers earlier before
Sure.
we started recording,
Put
right?
the energy in the
And
water or
I
the
said,
liquid.
when you speak into it, you're speaking frequency into it. You're speaking a vibration. It's everything comes from the word.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you are aware and you're putting that into your beverage, into your food when you're cooking, now you're taking it in. Now you're hearing something. Let's say, what kind of music are you listening to? What kind of spells are you taking in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was at. I was really,
Yeah,
at
you
that
brought
point.
that full circle right there.
Yeah,
So then
that's awesome.
you had the loss. You were not happy with your outer. You're not happy with your inner. But then you said you took matters into your own hand. Is that the Noah?
No, when I wasn't happy with my body, I hired a trainer and I said, I'm just going to do it. I've always been that way. I grew up in Inglewood, and life was hard, and I learned that you just had to take one step in front of the other one, and just do it and learn from the best. So I was able to hire a trainer at the time, and not everybody has the money to hire a trainer, but I learned a lot of stuff with her. And immediately I started winning, and I had never done a diet in my life. And I followed it to the T. Not even one gummy bear, because I love gummy bears. I love chips.
Not one gummy bear.
Not one chip, like I did it to the T, 3 hours a day, hour and a half in the morning, hour and a half in the afternoon, 6 days a week. And I started winning, and I did do it for that ego, because I didn't like the outside. And then, oh my God, I started winning. But then those hours in the gym, those hours only connecting to myself, I found myself and the why. And why were these things happening? And I went through the journey, because we're talking about 2000. My mom died in 2010, 2012. I competed for the first time. I didn't take the career totally serious until 2014. That's when I started winning nothing but first place, and then getting ready for the world championships and representing the United States. And through that time, so now we're talking 2014 all the way to 2017. So 2016, I represented in Budapest, Hungary.
Yes.
And I won the gold. So then now 2017, I'm able to represent the United States again, and I go to the world championships in Italy, Rimini, and I win the gold. And then that's when I retire, come home, I write the book. It takes me about a year and a half to do it all, because I had no idea how to do it. I had a story to
Can I ask a
tell.
question really fast
Oh,
before
yeah.
you ask yours? Were you the first person in that age bracket to have a first place?
No.
Okay.
So I wanted to share that message. So I went to the owner and I said, because by this time I had done some red carpet interviews, like in Venice Beach, for other organizations. And then I met you because I was doing like hosting big concerts, Mexican concerts in Ramon Ayala. I was an investor and also a MC. So I was doing a lot of stuff. And so I told the owner of the organization, I said, this is a global stage. I said, but you need to like bring it together and bring out these stories of all these people. I said, so let me do it.
Yeah. So you touched on a few things, when we wanted to share your story about the 2 championships in Hungary and then in Italy, that you're a correspondent now for the INBA League.
Mm-hmm.
And you're traveling the world, bringing the stories of the athletes. What's been one of the most intriguing stories of the athletes that you're?
A lot of them, it's leaving their structured, maybe what they did for a living, to just follow being healthy, and just like having a gym now, and like sharing their stories with other people, and literally breaking away from something that they had, maybe benefits, and they had insurance, and they had like they were making X amount of money, but they rather start all over again and being their true self than just working and not living, when you start with connecting with yourself, you really think about the energy you expose, who do you hang around with,
Question about the INBA. What is INBA?
International Natural Bodybuilding Association. So it's worldwide, and there's about 70 something countries that are part of the organization.
And what is it most comparable to? Is it comparable
So
to like the
an
Mr.
NPC,
Universe?
but natural. Yes.
Oh, okay. When you say natural, the
They
distinction.
do WADA testing, so no steroids, no. So you're gonna see a bodybuilder. You're not gonna see this huge like what you used to see in magazines.
Yeah.
No, they bought Iron Man magazine in 2019, and now everybody that goes on the magazine is tested. So what you actually see, it's an actual body that you can achieve. So you see them like in real life, and they're small. Like I'm like tiny, and they're small because like the more they work out, their waist like goes smaller. The ones that are like right now that's on our cover, he's 60 years old and he's on the cover. Why? Because aged muscle, that's when it starts to grow. When you do steroids, it grows differently. It grows like this. It grows out. Every muscle grows. So including your organs. They don't make it to 50 years old.
Because of
Is
the
that why-
steroids?
Yeah, their organs grow.
Is that why Sylvester Stallone can't ever
I-
lose that?
Yeah, it's probably stacked from
So,
before.
so you mean to tell me no more lightweight, baby? That guy Larry,
Who's that? I don't even
What's
know.
his
I don't
name?
know anybody
Who's
in
that?
the
the big buff guy. He was a cop, huge.
it's like they look like cartoon characters and they're not functional. And it's all about being functional.
Schwarzenegger.
The
He has that
Incredibles.
weird looking look.
Yeah, he has that weird look, but then he's also foreign. And I'm sure he's from that time. And now he's going to take it because he's old and he has, I don't know. Is he dating a younger woman?
So,
Is he?
so you have a statement here that fits perfectly to bring it up right now. What do you mean when you say natural is the key to finding your true self?
Yeah, we have to get back to the basics. And the food is the source. And we're not eating real food. And when
Mm.
we're not eating real food, we're getting disconnected from source because it's blocking us even from our intuition. And so when we're filled up with, plastics and
Mhm.
and people say, "Oh, you're exaggerating." No, they are microplastics in our fillers,
True.
and there's also in like the shot and in our food, there's heavy metals. In
Mhm.
prescription drugs, there's a lot of heavy metals. So now think about it. If you put in the body an excessive amount of metals, and there's also now there's no conspiracy, we all know there's
Chemtrails.
chemtrails. So
Yeah.
if you keep adding from the pills, the atmosphere, the water, you keep putting this, now you know why there's so much cancer. Now you know why all these young kids have autoimmune diseases. Like what's going on there? They can't have babies. They're losing babies left and right or not conceiving at all. Why?
Right.
Because we're becoming more unhuman than human. So I'm going to share something. This is probably the first time that I do it in a platform like this. But in 2013, I don't even share it in the book, but I had an awakening, and that was a personal awakening. And it was with God. And I asked him, I said, because once you're there, it's like, you know exactly what matters. It's just love. And it sounds corny, but you don't really have any questions because you see everything and there's no questions. But I said, and this is like a vision that I had, or whatever you want to call it. And it was before I was born, but it was me, adult, asking this question in 2013. And I said, if there's something that what can you tell me so I don't forget? Like, what can you tell me that I could like tell them? Because we all know it's love. That's it. That's the only thing that matters. And it was tell them they're eating trash.
Mm.
And everything's in the word. Listen to the word. Everything's in the word.
So it's safe to say that words become thoughts and thoughts become reality.
Yeah, well, God created everything with the word, and he started with the angels creating music, the vibration.
Mm-hmm.
And we're speaking into existence,
Mm-hmm.
and we're putting those waves out for the tomorrow, and we can't stop it. This is the only thing that's real, is this moment, this present moment right now. And we are creating the tomorrow. And we have to remember to be aware of our actions. That's why in this whole Noah, Noah, it's starting from scratch and remembering what's important. Our actions matter. So first it's nutrition, very important, what we surround ourselves, the vibration, the people, because we are a combination of the 5 people we hang out with.
That's true.
So awareness, we create habits every 21 days. What habits are you putting into your daily life? Right? All these things are real. So what are you doing? You have to make yourself aware. So that's the vibration. Then opportunities. See the opportunities. There's opportunities every single moment. Now, you don't have to jump into every opportunity. Not every door is yours. It can be, but it comes with actions and accountabilities. You have to take those actions to be whatever you want, to go through that door, and you have to be accountable. Because everything comes with an attachment. That's why when I think we were off camera and you said if I touched into cards, reading cards or something, because I said that I'm too witchy for the Christian and too Christian for the witches. And I don't do that because everything comes with an accountability.
That's right.
So I won't tap into that. I'm just like, I tap into source, me, my higher self, God, and my ancestors. I thank them. I'm super aware of all the elements. I'm thankful to Mother Earth, fathers, everything. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I do this prayer, and can I share it with you guys?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah, I do this every morning, and I do it around the world. And I've added some things to it. So I'll share the way I do it. God bless my eyes and bless the eyes of my loved ones and their loved ones. May we see the beauties of the world. God bless my throat and God bless the throat of my loved ones and their loved ones. May we speak righteously when words are needed. God bless my heart and God bless the heart of my loved ones and their loved ones. May we hear your message clearly and may we follow it. God bless my hands and God bless the hands of my loved ones. May we create beautiful things and keep everything in order and clean. God bless my feet and God bless the feet of my loved ones. May they take me where I need to be. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
So I say that every morning and I truly mean it. And I added everybody because I love everybody. Now that I met you, I love you. I mean, I love you, Todd. I love you, Ruben. And then whoever you love, and I'm just covering everybody. And I know people around the world. So I'm covering the whole globe, I feel, just
that's
with
amazing.
one person.
That's amazing.
So if we all did this, if we all woke up to the awareness of our actions and accountability, and then, then we realize the impact that we have. So we go back to the last one, which is so important, history. Because if you go through history, we're all connected. How far do you want to go? I found out not too long ago, I have Jewish blood. I have the Jewish the Jewish star,
Yeah.
plus the cross representing Jesus, because it's everything.
Great introduction to getting to know Miss Nora here.
Thank you. Thank you. Introduction.
So we're going to go into a round of questions, concerning these things that were big deals in your life, the championships, the bodybuilding, the health and all that. So I'll start first and then we'll all take turns, just going around asking some good questions, getting the audience informed about health, bodybuilding, fitness and people that are going to be interested in this. So it might have been, the passing of your mom, you feeling that you wanted to do something about your inner self because you weren't happy. But what inspired you to start your journey in bodybuilding and health?
Well, honestly, it was getting that first award and that I could do it. It was kind of like, oh shoot, I could do this and I'm 40. So it was kind of like,
So you went from wanting to lose weight into jumping into
well, the trainer that I had hired was a trainer that would get you ready to go on stage. And so I was like, well, if I get to my goal, I want to go back on stage just like one time, ay de 40 años, And when I went up, I went to Venice Beach.
Okay.
Legendary Venice Beach.
Muscle Beach.
Yeah. And I came in third. And I was like, oh,
Okay.
shit. And
I
I
got
just
it.
went up the 20-year-olds and the 30-year-olds.
That's a big deal.
I was like, wait, did I just get there? And I went with my bestie. So my bestie used to do this stuff, but her bad thing was eating grapes. So she was like always fit and she would win championships. So she's like, I'll do it with you, kind of like holding my hand. And so I got third place. And then it gave me that little like, what? So it was a reminder of what the body was capable of doing. Because I was like, if I could do it for those 2 months and get here, imagine what happens if I do it for another 2 months, or whatever. And so then I kind of just went back to life and life happened. And then it was another, moment of revelation. It was that time when I was like, God, what can you tell me? He's like, eat trash, tell them they're eating trash. And I'm like, I had no idea really about nutrition.
So this trainer of yours she got you in shape in 2 months?
She got me in shape in 2 months, but I followed everything that she told me to do.
And was she a great inspiration regarding the nutrition that you're attracted to, that nutrition?
Yeah, it was. But here, I'll tell you a little secret. She takes me to Venice Beach, and the day before going on stage, she gives me a pill, right? Because we got a hotel, and she was like checking on all the girls, and I took it like, come on, okay. I was taking a bunch of stuff that she was giving me, and I go, what's this for? And she goes, oh, it's to cut water. And I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, she gave you a water pill?
Yeah, she gave me a water pill, and I was like, okay. I thought it was like no big deal. And then a couple months later, I said, I'm still training, and I think, oh no, she called me and she's like, hey, there's another show coming up, and you're still training. Maybe you want to do it. And the only difference, it's a natural show. And I go, well, what's the difference? Am I not natural? I told her, and she goes, well, that last pill I gave you that day before, you can't take that.
Oh,
And I was like, oh, she's like, yeah, I get those in TJ.
Damn.
Yeah.
What she give you?
TJ.
Did she give you Anavar, or did she
I
give
don't know
you-
what she gave me, but
Interesting.
I got sucked up real quick. But
Damn.
when I did the natural show, I won first place. And I did 3 categories, and I won first.
Damn.
This is the one that she invited you to, and she said, here, let's do another one, but it's gonna be a natural one.
Yeah, in 2 months.
And you
And
won
3
first place in
first
3
place.
categories.
So I won like 21 back to back, like in those years, and then
What?
I became a world champion.
So as you were just
Jeez.
progressively winning all this, you started saying,
I was like so motivated. I was just like everybody, because I had, you got to read the book, but a lot of, when you're going through something, a lot of people get spooked and they just walk away. And that time alone is when you truly find yourself and you
Mhm.
find your path.
Mm-hmm.
We're stronger together, yes, but you need to find who you are before you
First.
can connect with other people, because we
Yes.
do absorb each other's energy.
100%.
So you have to be very aware. A lot of the times we're working in the subconscious. We're not in the
Yeah.
conscious being. It's like
Yeah.
70% and 30% awareness. So I'm very much about that. And it goes in tune with being a natural and not putting any chemicals in the body or anything that's going to prevent you from connecting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm huge with the intermittent fasting,
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We
Nope.
don't know.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. COVID showed us that, right?
Yep.
It showed us that in a blink of an eye, the whole world could be closed.
Mhm.
Unimaginable.
That's true.
It happened. So how can we make the right decision on what's next? We have to start with the temple, the body, because if we don't take care of this body, we can't fulfill the purpose.
Yeah.
And it's the temple.
Can I
That's
ask a
true.
question?
Yes.
Speaking of that, because that sounds like a defining moment. But if you can just, if I can ask this question, when did you realize the importance of treating your body as a temple?
When I was winning. When I was winning, I was like, what, how, it was just taking those actions. And then, it was all those hours accumulated, and it was doing things finally for purpose, literally. Because when you're working out,
Mhm.
I saw you eating earlier. You weren't eating fast food. You went to the market and got some food instead,
Yeah,
because it was
chicken.
a better choice.
Yeah, protein.
So it's about really taking things by purpose. So when you're saying, I'm going to eat only this and this because I want this to grow this muscle, I'm doing things for purpose. The majority of the time, we're in our subconscious. We're not doing things for purpose. We're literally just doing things because we got to go to work. We got to go do this. And we wake up. We don't
Creatures of
connect with
habit, would you
ourselves.
say? That's more like a
Yeah.
creatures of habit.
Yeah. And that it's like science proves that. That's why you have to break the mold. You have to break that. You don't want to do that. You want to connect with yourself. And the only way is with connecting with yourself,
Agreed.
giving it real food.
Agreed.
First, like, let's eat like our ancestors, right? Like that's getting back to what I say, Noah, right? What I went NOAH, right?
Mhm.
So it's starting from scratch. So then we go to our basics. How did our ancestors live? They worked all day. They did all the chores. Then they came back. Then the wife would cook everything or whatever. It took her all day. Then they would all sit down and eat and talk and pray with thank you, God, and be aware of that food. It took so much work.
Let me
Now we eat like blind people.
let me touch on that, since you are absolutely responding in a way that we thought you would. You believe we are what we eat,
Yes.
and can you break that down with the true meaning of nutrition?
So we always look at things, we're programmed to look at things in calories.
Okay.
Okay. But then we could have a Slurpee and it could be 1,000 calories, but it has zero nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
Or I could have a juice that's pressed and it has probably 600, 800 calories, but it's all filled with nutrition.
Mm-hmm.
We're not always looking at the nutrients, and what the body needs is nutrients, dense nutrients. So when we're born with everything we need to function, right? Eventually it wears off because we're not eating properly. We're not eating the right stuff. We got all the nutrients from our mother's bones, literally.
You're right.
So now we're eating caca. We're eating McDonald's. It has zero nutrients. It's filled with fillers, no vitamins. Everything is processed. It's not even real vegetables. And if it is, it's filled with chemicals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're eating all this. It's all acid.
Mm.
All of it is acid. And it has maybe 1,000 calories and you ate this hamburger. But then you could eat, a piece of chicken and asparagus and only be 300 calories. And you can have 3 of those, right? You have to start looking at the food for what it is. And everybody needs something different too.
Yeah.
So even though we're humans and we all need the same basic stuff like fasting and stuff, as connecting, and a lot of science will back this up for many things, how it really helps you to get rid of disease, because the majority of disease starts in your stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So all the acidic food you're eating, it starts to create holes in our cells. When the cells have holes, they fall out of rotation of the body. The ones that float become all disease.
Mm.
Now, the beauty of it is that we can eat antioxidants like blueberries,
Mhm.
and that covers the cells. And then they go back in rotation. That's why you could heal the body, or with CBD or certain things that have those components to heal the body. The body can regenerate. Now, if you constantly wake up and you're eating, how are you going to detox the body? That's why fasting is key, because we have overly food. We have too much, and it's not even real food.
Yeah.
It's trash.
Yeah.
How well do you know? I think it's Indian. It's the Ayurveda. Is that if that's correct? Where it speaks exactly what you were talking about. It's that each group of they divide into like 4 groups of people, and there certain foods are for these types of people.
Well, it goes by your blood,
Okay.
right? So I'll give you an example. I'm B positive. I'm A positive. Sorry. I'm A positive, and I do good with grains and veggies and certain foods. And when I was bodybuilding, I was eating tremendous amounts of animal protein.
Mm.
Now, it's not the animal protein our ancestors used to eat. It's full of acid because the poor animals treated like crap. The animal feels now has that acid produced in, now you're eating it, right? So I literally ended up in the hospital. It was horrible. My liver was like shutting down because I was eating 200 grams of protein a day
Okay.
at 118.
There's 5 different
This
blood
is when I
types?
was winning. But okay, so yeah, there's 5 different ones. And so every blood type is different. So I can't tell you that my method's going to work on you.
Right.
You got to look up at your blood type.
Right.
O does amazing with just meat. My daughter is B negative, and she does well with like meat and potatoes, some grains. And she's my daughter, but she eats, it's just different. She gets it from her dad. Her dad's Puerto Rican.
It's called
Islander.
It's called Ayurvedic. So if
Is that
you
what
check
it's
check it
called?
out, and it
Yeah.
lines up with everything you're kind of saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, so it's again, we're all the same, but we're all uniquely different. My son's an author. He's like the real author in the family. And his first book was about that. And it was a children's book. And it was about how different and unique we all are, but the same. And that's what makes the world go round. It's called the Jasper Children.
So when we talk about the best version of oneself, how do you define that?
Best version of self. I believe that we choose our avatar even before we're born for the lessons we're trying to learn. I really believe that. I really believe that we even choose our name. So I think that it's just, we're human, and we're living this human experience, right? And that's why we forget, so we can truly live that experience,
Is that
blindly.
tied to reincarnation?
I believe I've been here many times, and I believe all of you have. I believe that we're graduating this time around because we're aware. I believe that we come back as many times as we need to learn. It's all by will. We're here because we wanted to be here. Even the ones that are doing all the horrible things, like really bad things, killing people and torturing stuff, even they are part of the plan. And they chose to play that role of the villain.
When did you partake in choosing your children's names?
No, they chose their own.
No, but
In
I know
real
that.
life, yes.
Yeah, and so how do you explain that? And that must be a complex explanation, right?
Well, I was super young when I when I had my children, so I wasn't really focused too much. It was just what came up.
And then how would you tie that into saying that they chose it? That would it, because
It's will. I think
it's
it's just like things are presented, it's a higher power. It's God, right? God is involved in it all. And if you choose your name, God's going to put it in a way where those little seeds are going to drop. Like I named my son Brandon because I used to love 90210. I love that show. God put it on that guy. And guess what? It was implanted in my head. And that's why I chose Brandon. So he chose it. God put it all in motion. So it could be. I do believe in the higher plan of it all,
Yeah, I know, and I'm only saying it in that way because sometimes you got to play mental gymnastics in order to arrive to what
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
Because we feel something, right? And we think something, and then we want to share that thought and how you're going to take it, your perspective, and how you hear it. Everybody hears things differently. So I love the fact that, we can go back and forth and really try to explain it to everybody at home, and there's no like
Do you know
set
what?
path
Do you know what the number one name in the world is?
right now.
Yeah,
And right now, no.
it's Muhammad.
Oh, okay.
But how would you know what I'm saying? Is it so
Yeah.
everybody? So it's anybody named Mohammed would then somehow, some way, the mental gymnastics starts to go about explaining
Well,
that
don't you
they
think
chose
they have
it.
a lot of I'm not. Oh, I was gonna say something.
It's a podcast. You can do it. It's eavesdropping.
You say
We're
what?
listening.
I
They
think,
listening.
like I said, a lot of people are, not every Mohammed. I know a lot of Mohammeds that are amazing people, and there's also a lot of stereotype, that they're also blowing up people and doing all kinds of stuff. So it's part of the plan, and we have to believe in the plan, and it is very radical what's going on, and they do it because they believe something.
Okay, I'm gonna keep pressing you. I'm gonna
Yeah.
keep pressing you. So we have Emmanuel, right?
Yes.
Jesus, I mean, God with us.
My dad's name is Jesus. Jesus.
So, and then the Word was with us before it became flesh, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, still playing mental gymnastics and saying that Jesus named himself.
Yes, because he is the I am, right? And everything has a purpose. The story keeps telling itself until we get it right. And there's a lot of things playing it. There's a lot of
I like that.
timelines. And the timelines are now coming together. I don't know if you guys feel it, but things are going really, really fast lately. And it's because all the timelines are now coming together because so many seals have been broken. And it is all of us. I feel like we're all going to graduate. I mean, there is going to be a separation because not everybody's going with the flow.
True.
But it's going to be by will.
And
I believe in the divine. I mean, I'll tell you real quick. My dad's name's Jesus, right? And the reason his name was Jesus was because living in Jalisco when my grandmother was barely pregnant of my dad. This was baby number 8. She didn't even know she was pregnant. The soldiers were coming in and they were going to kill. And this was Inquisition times, and it was in Los Jesucitos or something like that, they called it. I'm not too sure exactly what they called it, but they would kill all the men. They would bury them. Even if they said, oh, we're going to convert and we're Catholic or whatever, they would bury them with cement and they would kill them. The women, they would leave them because they would cook for the soldiers and they would Some they would rape them and do all kinds of stuff. So the men ended up leaving from the town. And this was in, my dad was born in 1928. So this is 1927. And all the men left for 8 months. So then finally the soldiers left. And when my grandpa came back, my grandmother had my dad in her arms. And he's like, oh my God, one of the soldiers got you pregnant. She's like, no, I named him Jesus because they were killing everybody in the name of Jesus. I named him Jesus, but look at him. He looks just like you. And my grandpa had blue eyes and my dad has blue eyes. So he looked just like my dad.
Have you ever heard of this saying, did the name make the man or did the man make the name? So Hercules, when you think of Hercules, you think of the fact that this is a real strong individual.
Yeah.
And so
you associate it with it.
And so the saying is, well, did the man make the name or did the name make the man? Is he? And so then if you name another person Hercules, will that person end up being, strong and so forth?
I think so.
And I think there's something to that. Think about all the Michaels, Michael the Archangel.
Yeah.
Right. And then you start thinking about Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Michelangelo.
Yeah. Yeah.
It goes on and on.
No, I do believe strongly that everything is in the word and definitely in the name. So I didn't know my name. Like I didn't grow up and say, oh, my name means light and Veronica means truth. Like I didn't know none of this stuff. And then now I'm like, yeah, I'm light. I hated my name because it was just like Nora. Everybody else had Maria Refugio or these names. And I had Nora. And then, Nora Veronica when they got mad. So, but now I love it.
That's awesome.
So Nora, we gotta get back to the ship right now. We gotta turn this ship. We gotta turn this ship a little bit.
I go all the way spiritual all the time because that's like the next level.
That's okay. We're going to turn the ship because I know Ruben did a great job. But we have people that are fitness, that have questions about fitness. And so how do you stay motivated on days when it's really challenging for you?
Well, that's when I even get more motivated because I need to feel strong. You get to a point in your life that you don't do it just, because I want to look good. You do it because it's going to give you more of that longevity, that functional. So I work out all the time. Every time I get a chance, even to walk up the stairs, every other step, I do it.
2 days a week, 3 days a week. What do you suggest?
No, I think it should be part of your, of your life. It should be at least 3 to 5 times lifestyle, because it's like, come on, it's the body that's going to take you places. If you don't take care of it, like most of us, I'm Generation X, right? And most of us are. You're not. How old are you?
42.
Yeah, you're not Generation X, but Generation X, we were really about like, got to go to work. We got to make that money. We were like always hustling, always doing that stuff. Did we really think about the food? We never thought about the food. Mm-mm. And most people never think about the food until like, oh, what are we going to eat? And by that time, it's like, you're going to eat anything. You're going to eat anything because you're starving. Yeah. We always leave it in the back burner, and it should always be number one. So getting back to that, it should be your priority to have your body, functional, and not wait until you get sick, not wait until you get overweight. And I believe that's the time we're in now, because people are very aware because of the platforms, because of social media. You're seeing the consequences of things. You do drugs, you're going to look a certain way. Mm-hmm. You do this, you're going to do certain things. Everything's being seen. Mm-hmm. So the best thing is to be true to yourself. And the only way to do that is to start with your body. So even like starting with little baby steps, because it's all about making those, stacking up all those different things that you want to accumulate as your new habits, right? So you could start with, waking up and maybe doing the prayer, so you could be accountable for everything, right? Or maybe not that, but just saying thank you, because being thankful is the highest form of vibration, right?
That's true.
So if you wake up with just saying thank you that you woke up, because not everybody wakes up, right? I've known young people that they didn't wake up. Old people, they didn't wake up, obviously. But you never know. Every day is a gift. So if you start with that and then start making those habits, okay, you know what? Now I'm going to stretch. Now I'm going to do this. for the body. This is the only thing that's going to be in this life experience all the time with you.
So
Nothing else, no one else.
to Todd's question about what motivates you to do this, you're kind of lucky because, a lot of people aren't motivated by just the simple thing that you mentioned. You want to you don't like the idea of not feeling strong. You want
Yeah.
to feel strong. So
Yeah, I want to
as soon
carry
as
the
you don't feel
thing of
strong,
water into
you're
my
motivated.
kitchen. Yep,
Yeah, that's
I'm
awesome.
motivated.
That's
The
awesome.
water into the kitchen. That's
The big thing of the water.
Yeah.
If I can't carry it, I know I better start doing some push-ups.
So Nora, allow me to compliment you with you have great self-awareness. Most people probably don't have that.
Mhm.
I'd say a lot of people lack self-awareness. So I do appreciate you for having that.
Thank you.
And leading to my question, how does mental health and physical health connect in your experience?
Well, I think it's a complete connection, because if you're not giving the body what it needs, the minerals, then you're not going to be able to think. If you're I'm completely against like a lot of the mental drugs that are out there. They completely disconnect you and you can't make the right decision.
Mhm.
And this is all real stuff. And a lot of the stuff has to do with what you're eating. And if you're not eating the proper food, you're not going to feel right. You're not going to make the right decision. And you're going to start thinking about stuff. And we are a combination of everything. So it does start with our food. And it could change our brain waves of how we're thinking, I've dealt it, with things firsthand, in my home. And bananas are great for mental health. Have a banana a day.
But let me ask
It
you,
helps you with depression. There's certain things, you know what I'm saying, that are.
well, with bananas, we're eating fake bananas. We're not eating real bananas because bananas
Yeah.
have seeds in them. The bananas we eat
Okay,
don't
we
have
can't
seeds
go
in
way
them.
back there. We can't change certain things. Like we're
Right.
not going to change that. But we can get the organic with no pesticides, maybe farmers market. We have Kennedy
the
now
nines.
fighting for
nines.
food.
The nines, right?
Yes.
So what
The
the,
what?
so what the
The
codes
coating,
on
the 349.
Like this is can we just get clean water and clean food for
Right,
everybody?
Right.
Like that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because when you have that, then you don't need a guide.
Yeah.
You have the guide within, but
You're
you got to declutter and get rid of all that trash you're eating.
You're right.
Literally.
You're right.
To carry on to continue off the question that he asked about the mental and the physical and the mental, and then you brought up food. You also brought up something a little while ago that I want to bring that back around. You talked about the metals in the food,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the dirty water,
Mm-hmm.
what's in our air.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that starts to mess around with our frequency
Mm-hmm.
and the vibration,
Mhm.
which all of a sudden I think causes that disconnect even more so
Mhm.
between the mental and the health.
Mhm.
How long have you been aware of the being attacked from all different locations, all different sides, from the air, from the water, from the food?
I think the main awakening was just kind of like everybody else. I already had thoughts in my head, and I have a son that's very much about reading into things, and so I had already thoughts, but 2020 was the one, when I just went down the rabbit hole and I had all this extra time. And I had said that I learned about vampires, right?
Yeah.
This was 2016. And then 2020, I hear about adrenochrome,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm like, oh shit, this comes from like way back. This is real. Like the dukes and all the queens, and they did whatever they, and it was about
To stay younger.
stay
Yeah.
younger. And it was
Energy.
about having control over the people. And when there's too many people, they lose control.
Mm-hmm.
So I opened up my eyes in 2020 clearly. I spoke out a lot. I put a lot of dots together, and then I realized, damn, God, like you really put me in places. And then now I'm connected. I had no idea, and then putting stuff together. And I always do that. Like I travel around the world and I always find the connections again, because it's about that. But I believe that we're in a time of change, and it's not one person, it's all of us.
Yeah. So you had that lifestyle while you were doing bodybuilding, and then it carried over even when you retired. Did you find yourself mentoring anybody? Did you mentor a lot of people about about their physical
Well, I did a
fitness?
lot of
Their-
like I always wanted to do more in mass quantities. I wanted it like I felt like I just wanted to do so much, right? And I didn't want to just take one person at a time. So it was always like I did a couple of, I would do conventions and stuff and speaking events and stuff like
what,
that.
and I asked about whether you mentored a lot of people because I was wondering if you found a certain common thread that where people would just blow it on their diet. What was the thing that they were just blow it on their diet? Would it be fast food? Would it be what?
It was always the depriving. If you deprive,
Oh, starving
so
themselves to
yeah,
try to
if you
get there.
deprive, like you say, like for me, my trainer, so I talk about all this. I talk, it's a very small book, but I hit the points because you could see I get all over the place. But so she was like, no, nothing. Like it's chicken, asparagus, brown rice. Like that's it. There was never fruit, nothing. No, no coconut water. No,
None.
none. So what did I want after? I just wanted a bunch of fruit.
Mm.
That's all I wanted. So it wasn't bad, but most people, they just binge after. And that's the problem. So everything has to be in moderation. You can have the ice cream. I'm all about, again, I travel around the world
Mhm.
and I want to enjoy the different delicacies.
That's right.
Mm.
I'm mostly vegetarian, but if I'm in Spain, I'm going to have some prosciutto.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's
The depriving, you say.
yeah, the depriving is just what does it. Oh, the diet, you can't do that. No. How about you know what you need to do?
Well, I wanted to ask a question. Now, this is still going to be in the line of questions, so you can ask your question next, sir. But you said you've traveled around the world, right? And you've probably traveled to some exciting places.
Yes.
What do you notice about some of the diets that are in other countries that's different than ours? And which country would you say had the healthiest lifestyle and food that you would want to incorporate into your
So
daily
all of
life?
Europe is just very fresh. They always have farmers markets. They don't have the preservatives that we have. They eat very clean. They make their food. They don't really go out to go places. It's very rare that they go out. It's all homemade food.
Mm.
Wow.
I'm shocked. I am. I
Really?
thought you would have named like a different part of the world and not Europe.
No, Europe is very, very centered. They're very quiet. I mean, like the real people. They don't mess with nobody.
Now, when you say Europe, England, or
I'm talking
maybe
about no. I
greater
mean,
greater Europe.
all of it. I mean, we can go from Greece, to Switzerland, France, Italy. All of them. They eat really good food.
I would say Italy and the Greeks, but
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
But they all have farmers market. Vienna, Czech Republic, everywhere I've gone, like they all have fresh food and they all make their food. They don't go to work and stay till 10 o'clock. They're done at 5. They're done at 5.
Yeah.
It's done. They go to live. They go be
Yeah.
with their families. That's what matters to them. And they eat food and they drink, but they're doing it like maybe 1 or 2 and even every day. But they would take walks. They eat good food. They're not getting attacked like we are, but they don't have the liberty that we have.
Mm-hmm.
They can't go to Taco
Interesting.
Bell at 10
So
o'clock
they
at
kill
night.
us here with the food because that's how they can control us. We poison ourselves by the choices we make. And over there, they don't have no rights because they're owned by the kingdom.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They have everything they need. They're taken care of. Their school's paid. Their health is paid. They get paid for each child.
Mhm.
They could stay home with their kids. They're not going to fight.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah. Yep.
They're not going to make no money.
So, Nora, how has your training evolved over the years, and what lessons have you learned along the way?
So from actually lifting weights, and at one point, free weights squats like 230, 235 at 118.
Wow.
Damn.
The body can do some stuff,
That's
right?
crazy.
To now I do 5 pounds. And I think the body could do anything if
Mhm.
you're continuously doing. I don't want to put in those hours anymore. So I'm all about being functional.
So you want to
now.
maintain?
I want to maintain. I work out. I work out about an hour and a half. I try to do it 3 to 5 times a week. it's very much about your own body, like
Yeah.
push-ups and sit-ups, walking lunges with very small weights, because I don't want to put all that on my joints.
Mm.
Plus, I do, we are getting older. There's no, I can't change that, but I'm very aware of what I try to put in my body. So I'm very, yogurt for the stomach, berries, the antioxidants, the sea moss,
Mm-hmm.
the cannabis. I
cannabis.
do it
How
all.
about moringa?
Of course. I even have chocolates. One of the athletes, he makes chocolate, and they're chocolates with the moringa on the outside. So now you're having a piece of chocolate with that.
Hope you guys are
Really?
eavesdropping.
Oh yeah, all that stuff is, superfoods.
How disciplined do you say you are? Would you say
I
you
fast every day.
are? Now intermittent fasting.
Intermittent
So you
fasting.
probably eat once a day then? Is that what you're saying?
No, I try I
Twice
can
a day,
eat. I
maybe?
can eat 3 times in like a short period of time, little meals, or most of the time it's 2 meals and snacks.
When was the last time you had to rely on your discipline to do something, to overcome something? Have you ever been maybe, injured a muscle or something, and then your discipline is what had to get you back into it, or
Well, changing my intermittent fasting, you mean?
no, just overall, your discipline, because you sound like a person who's very disciplined.
Yeah.
And when was the last time that you had to use it?
Like change something because
Yeah.
something
And
happened.
you're like, I'm
Well-
about to hone in with my discipline right now.
I mean, things happen. I'm 53 years old and things happen, and maybe your health or something. I'm very sensitive to any narcotics whatsoever. So recently I had a little surgery I had to get done, and I took too much Tylenol and I got super sick. And of course, after that, I was vomiting for like 11 hours.
Damn.
There was nothing to vomit. I was on
It's like
morphine.
hurting your body
in the
right there.
hospital.
The dry heat.
No, I was at the hospital and on morphine and all kinds of stuff. My little body could not do it. So after that there was no fasting.
Yeah.
There was no more intermittent fasting for a while.
Okay. And then there it is. Then you had to call upon discipline in order to get back into it.
Yeah, but it's always about just trying to be aware
Mhm.
of what's happening, because we're not in control of anything. We think we're in control. We're not in control of nothing. If God, whatever you want to call it, God, the universe, your higher self, whatever, says you're going to learn this and this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. So for me, what I always say is like, allow me to be able to learn this in grace and not on the floor anymore. Let me learn how to dance this, and not just be on the floor, because we can go on the floor, because things happen, and it's easy when your health is attacked. So always try to do the best thing. And even cancer can attack the healthiest body. So, and I've seen it,
That is true. I've seen it too.
maybe less
That's
than
true.
everybody else,
But
but
it
it
happens.
still happens.
Yeah.
It's true.
So bottom line is try to do the best you can. And I always say, stick with that. If I truly tell you that I asked God, what could I have said that could be profound? Noah, Noah. And if you just go down that line, things change. My life has changed tremendously, and I always try to improve it. There's always room to improve it, but just the music. What are we hearing? I used to listen to Cardi B. I used to love her. Red bottoms and stuff, But come
Those
on. I'm
spells.
not I'm not a female dog. That's not where I'm at. I'm like up here now. I'm
It's
not
like you
the-
said, those
the
spells.
root. They're spells, and
They
we're
are, you're
singing
right.
them.
There are
We're
spells.
taking it as truth,
Yeah.
I have a question for you. At this lovely stage of your life, you were saying your lovely age. I don't want to repeat that because
53.
we don't do that.
So
we
proud.
don't do
Not
that.
ashamed.
I am so proud. You have no idea.
That's awesome.
I'm
But
so proud.
Do you recommend at our age right now, and this is for the ladies too, because this is for my lovely ladies. You wanted to ask this question. Do you recommend weightlifting and cardio at this age?
Yes, I always recommend that you do some type of weightlifting, even if it's 5 pounds, and that's all I do, because it will continue to burn fat throughout the day. If you just do your own body weight, it's only going to burn while you're doing it. But if you're actually doing weights, that's going to help you burn throughout. It's also going to give you some shape. I'm all about shape, right? Especially for women out there. We want to look a certain way. I'm all about the arms. My arms are like I love to keep my arms, fit, because your arms are always going to be shown. And, you don't want nothing waving.
Uh,
No, that is true.
Yeah.
Women don't want
so
the flab.
arms and the back. I don't
Yeah.
want those like flabs on the back.
Yeah.
I like sexy back. That's
Yeah.
like, those are my photos. If you see my Instagram, it's all about the back.
I haven't seen your Instagram yet, but curious to see.
I'm all about the back.
Curious to see.
One day they're going to forget the face, but they're going to remember the message.
Is
I got a message tattoo on my back. A
Really?
lot of
Is it-
tattoos that tell a story.
it a big message or is this
I have a lot of tattoos that tell a story.
okay?
Just
Okay,
butterflies, transformation. Just the story I'm telling
that's leading right into my question.
you. Okay.
How does stress, sleep, and mindset influence physical performance and recovery?
Well, working out helps your stress level. So if
Okay.
you could just push yourself to getting through that workout, like just get there, just do it. Everything will feel better afterwards. The problem's still going to be there, but it's not going to feel so overwhelming. And it's really doing things purposely. You're in that gym doing something
Yeah.
because you want to be better.
Yeah.
I mean, I owned a bail bond company and I helped people throughout over 20 years. But it was people that were getting in trouble and then they only wanted help because they got in trouble.
Mm.
This is different. When you're going to the gym, when you're actually picking up the book and reading it, it's because you're trying to be better.
Mhm.
You're going to the gym because you're trying to be better, whether it's to look better, whatever that your ego is, because we all have an ego and a lot of it, come on, we have to embrace it. It has got us to where we're at today,
Mhm.
right? It's survival as well. So all of that, it's just always that awareness. It's just always awareness, getting back to that.
What is your take on sleep?
Oh, number one. That was one of my, when I had my awakening, it was also, a lot of people called it a Britney Spears moment.
So people who sleep 3 or 4 hours, they're
Could
killing
have,
themselves.
yes, you could literally have a mental breakdown, if you want to call it that, or a psychosis, because it's like a computer that overloads.
And so what is the healthy duration of sleep?
Well,
6 to 8 hours or more than
No,
that?
more. The more, the better.
more?
The better. But
So-
wake up early, do everything in a short period of time, but be meaningful with what you're doing. Because when you sleep is when you repair.
That's right.
And I feel that we're also fighting the, other world, other things, spiritual things
Yeah.
when we sleep. And we need this. And when you don't sleep, you're disrespecting the temple.
Mm.
And that's
That's
how
true.
I had that. I had a mental breakdown
Yeah.
clinically,
Yeah.
a psychosis. But in that time, I also had an awakening, kind of like, I always say, God was like, you're about to like kill yourself, woman. Like, let me remind you where you came from.
Yeah.
And then I had that, but it didn't make sense back then. It was before I knew nothing about food. I didn't understand what was happening. It made sense years later.
Wow.
What kind of myths about fitness or bodybuilding do you want to debunk? Are there myths?
Yeah, that if you work out, you're going to look like a man. If you do steroids, you're going to look like a man. But if you work out, you're not going to look like a man. Even in my my highest point, I never looked like a man. I was always very feminine. Now, I did do the lowest division, which is bikini. But we have athletes that do figure and bodybuilding, and they still look very feminine, because you don't have all that to grow this way. It's just going to get chiseled. Like if you think of the Greek gods and the beautiful, Athena and the Greek goddess or whatever, how they looked,
Mhm.
Wonder Woman,
Mhm.
Yeah. Good point.
that's how you're going to look. You're not going to look big, because if you're going on a race, I called it the race of life. What are you going to take with you? How are you going to build the body? You want to be able to move. You want to be able to you're on this race called life. Like you got to just be ready for it.
Yeah.
So that's why I say you always got to just let go of what no longer serves the body.
Mm-hmm.
And all those big steroid people and all that, it's killing you. They don't even make it to 50.
So for you saying that must mean that you came across a lot of women who would felt that way.
Well, in the people that I surround myself in, it's a huge organization worldwide, over 70 countries. We're all the same. we're all natural and we all found our purpose. We don't judge anyone. But then there's other people that immediately are like,
I don't want to.
oh, wait, no. Oh, you're promoting a bodybuilding competition or whatever, and they're doing stuff. And then they have their thoughts. And you got to remember, here we go. They're doing steroids because they want to look a certain way, but now it messed with them mentally. Now they're a wreck.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
they can't even make the right decision. They can't even think. Everything's growing inside of them. Every single organ.
Wow.
Because anything that's a muscle is growing.
But not everything that I heard.
Does it stop though? So let me ask you this: when you do the steroid, does it?
It grows your forehead.
I know what
How
you're
about
talking
that?
about.
It grows your forehead.
Oh, forehead.
It grows your forehead.
Yeah, well, I mean,
It
forehead.
grows
yeah, okay.
everything.
So,
it
but if
grows
you-
weird. I could like look at them and know if they're on steroids because I judge.
They got long foreheads.
But if you do it,
Wow.
steroids, how long? Once you take it, how many times do you have to take it to where?
Well, we get steroids to like make our lungs better when we have an asthma attack.
Right.
A short period.
Right.
Okay. Anything longer can like stun your growth. It could, it has many, many side effects, but it's very good. Like doing so much social media, my finger, I have trigger finger. Once a year, I get a steroid shot, but it's one shot.
So there's different types of steroids then, right?
Yes. And different levels. We're talking about people were like ingesting this, like,
People that want to build
Stacks.
muscle.
So, but
going
they're
to the
doing it.
gym.
They're doing it in cycles, right? Like
cycles,
every week
yeah.
or every 2 weeks, they're doing the shot.
So I
right?
think you're asking like if it stays with you or whatever, how
Yeah.
long does it stay? So there's people that I'm sure that used to be not natural and then they became natural. How long it stays in their system and the side effects, I don't know. Are
Should
they
be forever.
reversible? I don't know. A
thought-
lot of people like the old school, you can go on like
I thought it was
these
30
websites.
days, right?
No.
No, it's gonna be longer.
Okay.
And especially they do the urine test and the blood test.
He's thinking about a
They do the
cannabis.
blood.
He's
as
thinking
well.
about cannabis test. 30 days.
No, you're
I'm
thinking
asking.
about
This
cannabis.
guy.
I'm asking. I'm
30
novice.
days.
I don't
And back
know.
when
Steroids,
I used to
30
compete,
days. This
they
guy.
didn't check for cannabis. I was okay.
No, I was just curious.
You know, I had never. I guess it's logical, but I didn't really mean anything until you said it right now. You're right. Every muscle grows if you're throwing steroids in your body. Everything
Yeah.
grows.
Yeah.
So all your organs will start to grow, and that's just crazy.
So think about all that
Damn.
pressure that your body is like really like pushing to build all this and the stress on your brain.
Yeah.
And so a lot of them end up committing suicide.
Oh, no.
because of the after.
Because the
after-
skull.
Well, I
There's
mean,
gotta be
there's
brain
like a lot
tension.
of websites.
That's crazy, bro.
I'll send you a couple, but they talk about strictly bodybuilding, and of course, it's always a negative.
Yeah.
And I always say, "Oh, there's a natural side," and they're like, "There's always, some, no, there isn't. There's no way. There's natural."
So
Okay,
Nora,
well, you're living because of your own judgment, because of how you live.
That's tough.
that's tough.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, what can you recommend as supplements, to combat, steroids for people that want to work out? What type
Well-
of supplements are out there to help them grow?
I think our food is our number one thing. I'm all about food and whole foods at that. Having a good digestive to help us process foods and break it down to the amino form that our body could absorb. That's the key point. Also, incorporating, again, the superfoods and really being aware of what you're putting in your body. So now there's a lot of companies that, have real vitamins from real fruits and vegetables instead of the synthetic. Because most vitamins are from a synthetic form. So you could, let's say I'm low in iron because I'm a vegetarian, right? So if I take iron pills, I would have to take them for 2 weeks for them to make effect. And they're usually synthetic, right? Well, if I take beet juice, just straight beet juice, it will go up immediately. I've done it where I've tested because I've donated blood and they're like, oh, it's too low. Come back in 2 weeks. I was like, no, can I go to my car? It's like, there's no way. I said, let me just go to my car, please.
Beet.
Went to the car. I took the beetroot juice, came back. She goes, this has never happened. And she did. She's like, how did you do that? I said, I took beetroot juice. But anyways, so a good vitamins. Good vitamins.
Really
and I'm
cool.
all about that. I'm all about
Is there anything that any names, any companies, any strong suggestions?
Well, I use Gains in Bulk.
Gains in bulk.
They're a company that was made for the athlete, like the NBA, like individual athletes. So they would get your blood and do something custom for you, including your protein. That's what he did. And then he focused on regular athletes like us, and he made that company. But that's what he's all about. That the man that made that.
That sounds like a David Becca, like a blood biologist, so to speak.
Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff. His name is Doug Grant.
And then, is there a way to find that?
Yeah, it's called Gains in Bulk. I'll actually give you guys my code. You can get 20% off. It's
There we go.
Nora20. And I take my digestives from there, and I take my vitamins. And the vitamins are a pack, and they have minerals in it as well. So it's like 10 pills in one. And I take the Super Performance for Women.
So we need to try that here on this show.
Well, you
we would
gotta
love that. We will
you
get a
have to think
Eavesdrop
about
code.
That'd be amazing.
we're having all these foods with no minerals, no vitamins. So we have to incorporate, right? Because we're still doing our best, but there's still so many things happening. So what can we do? Can we take the spirulina? Can we take
Moringa.
the moringa?
Yeah.
Can we take, sea moss?
Yeah.
Can we take the CBD?
Exactly.
We have to do a little bit of everything.
That's exactly right.
So touching on what you're saying, what advice would you give someone who feels overwhelmed about starting their health journey?
I say just start one day at a time and start with something very small, like maybe even buying yourself a gym outfit.
Yeah.
And
Psychological.
yeah.
Yeah.
But just taking the action, right? And we go back to Noah. You have to take action. So like, how am I going to get there? I don't want to go to the gym. But if I'm doing this on the bed or on the couch, I'm literally making the whole thing of depression, right? Like this is what depression looks like.
Yeah.
So I got to get up and do something different. Jump in the shower, brush my teeth. Maybe buy an outfit online, get excited, not even leave my house, but let me get an outfit. And then getting a membership or just doing a push-up and watching a video and do something, take a cute photo, and maybe that's going to motivate you.
Yeah.
But just taking some sort of action, something different from yesterday.
Yeah.
I have this saying that I always would tell myself, and I put it in the book, and it's be able to look at yourself in the mirror every night and know you did your best, and tomorrow will be better. So kind of reflect on your day at night. That's when I do my stretching. And what could I have changed? Now, I can't dwell on it, but what can I do tomorrow? And then if I do that every night, I won't get overwhelmed, because you have to check yourself every day.
That's a good form of what they call habit stacking.
Yeah.
You stack those habits every single day.
And
you get
that's
some
what
great
it's
results.
about. And you're choosing. It's learning to unlearn, as I say, right? Yeah. We're going to get rid of all the programming that the world gave you, your parents, your teachers, that like your boyfriends, your husbands, whatever the heck. And then now, okay, what does Nora want? Wait a minute. Well, I want to be able to read more. Okay, well then pick up the book and read. Go buy a book. You just got to do it. You can't just say it. And saying it is a good start. Yeah, being, just saying it, just I want, be able to hear it out loud. But taking that action is key, because if not, it's just a dream.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So as passionate that you are about health and fitness and knowledgeable about health and fitness, do you think that social media harms it, the way that people use social media?
I think we, again, need to focus on ourselves so we can debunk all the BS. And
so there is a lot of BS.
There's a lot of course. Of course, not everybody's here just like, I just want to pour my heart out.
Does it piss you off to see?
No, I try not to focus on it. And then there's stuff that people are genuinely like, that's their beliefs and they're stuck on that. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to shake them, but it's not my place.
Yeah.
But no, it doesn't bug me when I see certain things. I just go to the next thing. There's just so much.
Yeah. So looking back, what would you have told your younger self about fitness? Did you start late with fitness?
Oh yeah, I started late. I didn't even have an issue.
If there was a younger self, would it have been a different
I think when it comes I think in life in general that it's going to be okay, and trust the process. And I think that's a big one when it comes to working out, is trusting the process. There's a big process and we can't see it from one day to the next. We're in this instant gratification. We want everything so quickly. But when you're doing work from within, including bodybuilding, the outer self as well, it takes time and dedication.
Small steps.
Yes. But it's always going back. I always like to go back with science. Like, it's proven, like 3 weeks, you will build a habit. 3 weeks, you're going to see that muscle popping. I guarantee that even if you do it for 10 days, I have a cleanse, right? If you do it for 10 days, you're going to see a difference. Be disciplined for 10 days. Try to be the best version of yourself. I'm not trying to redo anything. Look at Tony Robbins. What does he do? He does a cleanse. He talks to you, positive. He stacks on good habits. There's nothing new, but you got to get in the freaking car and get in the driver's side.
Yeah.
You got to take control.
Got to take that initiative.
That's true. For people who live a busy lifestyle, what's your go-to advice for staying consistent with health and fitness?
Okay. We make time for anything we want.
Mm-hmm.
1 hour out of your day is not going to do anything. I know people that have kids that are also, these bodybuilders are not just trainers. Some of them are actual judges in California that run a bunch of judges, attorneys, nurses. They have all these different relationships and they juggle it. Why? Because they want to be able to juggle it. And the only way you're going to be able to juggle it is if you take care of your body. So you look at it as a priority, as a lifestyle, so that you can accomplish your dreams. We have to kind of start looking at things for what they are, not for what they programmed us for. I'll give you another one that has nothing to do with fitness, but money, right? Our generation was like, go get the money and then happiness will come. Now it's like, no, live your passion, the money will come. We were backwards. And when you're doing it backwards, you're never going to find it. Because you could reach the money, but you're not there.
Yeah. Well, that's a good answer.
Yeah. The inner self didn't still catching up.
No, yeah. I'm always catching up. I'm always trying to do it. There's a lot.
Nora's on the move, y'all. Nora's on the move, okay?
Mustard and ketchup.
I wake up and I'm like, what do you have for me, God? Like, what is it today?
That's cool.
I think that we planned it all. Like, it's just, we're enjoying this. I think it's a blessing to be alive and this time, and there is a lot of uncertain, for a lot of people, but we have to just trust the process, and how we can change the world is by changing ourselves.
That's right.
Rumi used to say that, right? That's the beautiful saying, first, I thought I can change the world, but then I was wise and knew that if I change myself, then that's when things change. But it's, again, it's our actions. What can we do? Even leaving right now. If we're not aware, we get in our car and we bump into someone or we cut someone off and you don't know what day they had. You don't know what mindset. And maybe that triggered them for them to commit suicide. Yeah. This is some real shit.
It is. Yeah.
And excuse me if I got real deep there, but this is real. And we're all trying to live. And a lot of people have it really hard. And we have to be good. Yeah. If we have it good, we need to be good to other people.
I think this question ties into exactly what you just said. Are there any simple daily habits that you believe have a significant impact on long-term health?
The fasting that has long-term health. I think that adds years to your life. I try to become very aware of what I'm putting in my body, non-acidic foods. I think the acid is worse than anything else.
Damn, so you don't drink coffee?
No, I drink coffee, but one. It's all a balance. And I put mushroom in my coffee and I put coconut oil in my coffee. And so I make it something good instead of something negative. And it's moderation. And I think that all my ancestors did so much for me to be able to have the best coffee at the tip of my hands. And it's all about being thankful. And there is no being deprived. Why? Right. We can go to the market and get anything we want. Back in the days, we had to grow.
That's crazy.
And we had to barter. Like, you give me some tomatoes, I'll give you a cucumber. If you were lucky. Now we can get in our car, go to the market at the corner. You can call Instacart.
Yep, have it dropped off.
Anything you want.
Instacart.
Caviar from France. You can get anything you want. Anything you want. Amazon.
Instacart. You guys hear this?
I'm sorry. I'm not getting no plugs here. I'm not getting paid.
We need those deals.
All right.
We're looking for those.
Well, this
deals.
was good. This was a real good segment. And this brings us to halftime. All right. We're using football terms here. So we're at halftime now, but we're gonna switch it up a little
Okay.
bit, get a little controversy, little humor. Let's switch it up
Okay.
a little bit. So are there any misconceptions? And I think we probably touched on this, right? The misconceptions about bodybuilding is that not everybody's using steroids.
Yeah, that's a misconception for sure. Everybody thinks that, oh, you're using something or a miracle drug or something.
Is it gotten worse or better? I mean,
No, it's getting better.
Oh, so not okay. Before it was more people were using these things, and
Yes.
now
Well,
people
it
are
was
using them
very, now we know the consequences.
That's right.
So because it started, I don't know, 60s, 70s, we didn't have the consequences. Now we have it, right? We know that by the age of 40s or 50s, you're having heart attacks. So now the youth is not doing it. Everybody's trying to go to natural. There is, when they started this organization 35 years ago, they looked at him like he was crazy. Like, what do you mean no steroids? You know, natural was not the thing. This was back in the days with Arnold doing all this.
Now the entire organization is being natural. Is there a penalty for violations?
You are on the Hall of Shame.
Yeah.
And you are blocked depending how bad it is. If it's most of them, they get banned either for life or a year. If it's something like, because sometimes you can go to like the vitamin shop and get a stimulant, and you didn't even know it was a stimulant. You can get like a pre-workout, and it's banned by WADA, but it's over the counter.
Yeah.
So being natural is truly, you know, that's why all these other companies like Gains and Bulk is good, because you don't have to worry about it. It already went through WADA testing.
Yeah.
So you can take it and not worry about it. But yeah, there's some things that are it.
What's the test? Blood test, urine test?
It's a urine test and a blood test.
Okay. And they're looking for
There
like
a lot
list,
of stuff.
a list of
it's
ingredients.
a huge list. I can't even pronounce a lot of
And is it the same thing that maybe
It's the same thing as the Olympics.
Okay. Okay.
Exactly same test.
Um
They want to put it in the Olympics. That's
so
the goal.
what was your goal when you were working out? Was it for or what's your goal now? Is it stamina, tone body, ripped body? But
it's for function.
Okay.
My goal at the time was to make a point that it didn't matter how old you were, because I had seen it. And then I lived it right away and saw what the body was capable of doing. It just, if you take the steps, didn't matter what color you were, what was your name, you know, what country you came from. It was just taking those steps.
So you hinted earlier about what was the what you lifted when you said you squatted. So how strong are you? How much,
Now?
No, when you were at your peak, what were you? Do you measure through benching, through how much?
No,
you can lift,
it was through benching. I mean, that's how. I mean, I weighed 118 and I was
Did a
squatting
plate?
235. I mean, I have videos.
Damn.
I have videos, and so they're 45-pound plates.
Yes, yes.
And then the bar
bar is
itself is
45.
45.
Yep.
And so I have videos. I mean, I almost broke my back, but I did it, and they were free weights.
Sheesh.
I was comfortable with 210 at 118.
What is
And there were sets of 4, like,
and you said you did 2 plates on each side, or
Yeah, I don't remember. I have the video. Like,
that's
2
a lot.
plates.
That's a lot of
It
weight.
was 235 or
It's a lot of weight. Yeah, it's 2 plates.
I don't remember.
2 plates and maybe
two
some.
plates.
A two and a two and a half.
So it's
2 plates
90,
and a 2.5
180
on
in
the
the
side.
bar. So yeah, 180 in the bar, 45.
Yeah.
is that your most impressive exercise? Like
Yeah, because I'm very tiny. I'm like naturally I'm like a little Barbie. There's nothing aquí enfrente and nothing back here naturally, So working a booty, like for me to gain a butt was like a big thing for me.
Okay.
So
so that's why you were squatting.
I was squatting
Leg
was my
press
thing,
and
and then I would
squats.
eat 200 grams of protein a day. I had a booty.
Oh,
I
wow.
have pictures where it was like from skinny from how I am now. I'm very thin and I'm just embracing my body to what I made it. It was very impressive what you can do.
Yeah.
And would people be impressed with knowing how many push-ups you can do, pull-ups and crunches?
Yes.
Like,
And then
how
being in
many?
my 40s,
Yeah,
I
well,
was the 20-year-olds couldn't keep up with me, the 30-year-olds
Really
at the gym.
Do you know? Do you got the numbers? How many like push-ups you were like? Just something impressive. Like, man, I used to do 100 push-ups.
No,
without
it was
non-stopping."
more of like just winning those trophies.
Okay, winning the trophies.
Now, can I ask? It was more for the physique, not the actual strength.
Yeah, it wasn't the strength. The strength was empowering to me.
Okay. So the
Being
bikini, but
strong
the
was
bikini look is
sexy
what
to
you were
me.
looking to get. Okay.
It just made me feel. I was always very independent, but I think even more, after that incident in Chuck E. Cheese, it was like being strong and like being able to take care of myself.
Yeah.
And now you're working out for mobility, to have mobility.
Yes, mobility and just being strong and being able to carry the water.
There you go.
And my grandkids, like my
water.
granddaughter is taller than me and she wants me to carry her. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can carry you now, but I'll try.
When you were working out, was it mainly for you to be focused? You do it by yourself, or you would work out with partners? Or
It
you would
was
work
by
out in a
myself.
group?
It was
Okay.
definitely meditation time.
So it was not with the group or not with the partner. It was by yourself.
No, I just had a trainer for the first like 12 weeks. After that, it was all on me.
When you
I
had,
had some trainers, but it was not like on me all the time.
how well did you get along with your teammates, or was there a team?
Yes, there was the whole, we consider everybody brothers and sisters and teams, there's every country has a team as well. And then you make bonds with these people, and because it's competitive just with yourself and not others, you really connect with these people. It's not like a competition, like, and I don't want to say other names of other
Okay.
organizations,
respect,
but it's not catty that way because there's no chemicals involved. So you're really there for the long run. I mean, we have 80-year-old athletes.
That's huge.
Do you know what I mean?
That's
Like
a
you
good
have
thing, though.
respect for these
80-year-old
people.
athletes.
It's a natural.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
you have like firefighters, and like right now with the fires, one of the girls, she's so beautiful. I call her my Wonder Woman because she dresses up like Wonder Woman and she does this amazing, thing on stage, but her house burned down. And what grace. The woman the next day still at Gold's Gym training people, motivating other people when she lost everything.
Golly.
Everything. So these are the kind of people, I call them my brothers and sisters. These are the kind of people that I connect with. And so there's there's new people that'll walk in, they'll try to be catty, but they can't because everybody's there just, hey, what can we help you with? And everybody's the same. And we don't matter. It doesn't matter how many followers you have or not.
Yeah, you're just
You
you're a person here.
Yeah.
And you guys are competitive, but in a graceful way.
But you're only competing against yourself because once you become a pro, everybody's a champion already. So it's just who's bringing the best package and routine. And
So the camaraderie, like with guys, we go and we smack each other's abs, like, you're working out, huh?
Yeah.
Or, we poked it to the pecs. Hey, you
Yeah.
actually work. Would ladies do the same thing? What do ladies do?
Same thing. Same thing. Oh, the arms, we're always flexing. Every time we go to a different country, we're always doing like, a team photo and we're always flexing. So we do the same thing. The little tiny baby muscles,
That's cool.
but they're still muscles. I still got them,
Is there any women bodybuilders that you look up to?
I think there's just so many. I don't think I can mention them because I think they're all champions and I look up to everybody because they all have a story and I'm the one that interviews them. So I'm kind of like in the middle of everything. And so I get to make really cool bonds with people.
Yeah.
Because I get to know like their why and the reason, and
You get to see their heart.
yeah, I really get to see it. I'm truly blessed. I really say that I have a home everywhere in the world because people are like, Nora, whenever you want to come visit over here.
I seen one of your interviews and it was intriguing, but it was kind of funny because you were talking to a guy and he was, copper toned up, all chiseled up, and you were like, you won the tall division because there's a tall division and a short division.
Mm-hmm.
How does it make the smaller guys feel to know that they have to go on stage with these taller athletes and then flex, like a little flex off in the bikini, right?
Like, so like from the tall and the short, like how they
Yeah.
go up against each other, because it's not the tall one doesn't always win. It's who brings the whole package. So it's not only going to be, because you have to understand once they're pros, they're all champions. They all won to get there, right? So now it's like, who has that best day? Who can bring it that day? It's the routine. It's everything. It's a smile. It's the connection with the judges. It's with the just everything. Everything counts. And I guess it's always about, again, it's just always bringing the better package. Everybody usually ends up staying with the organization, and it's always about comparing their photos. Oh, I did better, and maybe I didn't win the championship this year, but I see the improvement in myself, and I'm honored, to be on the stage with so and so. They're really cool about that.
Yeah,
all of them. Everybody's really, really like teammates.
You did a lot of sharing of wisdom and some advice and so forth.
That's my jam.
There's one here that you had wrote down about respecting your body and yourself. Tell me about that.
Well, it's again with what we listen to.
Okay.
And what we
from all the senses,
including sharing your intimate self with anybody. That is the highest form of sharing energy.
Mm-hmm.
And most people don't think about that. They share kisses, they share intercourse, and then they say, well, why do I feel anxiety? Why do I have these demons? You're carrying other people's energy, literally.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That's right. So I respect myself in every aspect. I've been celibate for a while now. I don't even know. I think I'm going almost on a decade. It's not for everybody, but I felt that I needed to be completely just me without any interaction or any input of anybody else in order to write this book. And then I've been writing this other book since 2019. So I said, when I finish that one, then I'll, in divine timing, I don't think I'll be always on this road. I'm very full. I have my grandkids and my children, but I do believe in the divine balance.
How long you been single?
12 years, 11 years, 12 years.
And do you think you intimidate people?
Yes, but that's not why I'm single. I'm single by choice because
True.
I don't give anybody the time of day for that matter. I'm very exclusive with my energy. And if it doesn't have a purpose, why do it?
Yeah, agreed.
My stomach is growling. Oh my God.
I heard that too, Mike. Did you hear that?
What's
too?
your sign?
I'm a Sagittarius. I'm fire.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm fire.
That's why you said that. Because you described yourself as one. Those are one of the words you used to describe yourself.
What?
Fire.
I am fire. I am fire. So, I can keep you warm, but I can also destroy. So I'm very cautious about what I do on my daily life because I could destroy just like anybody else. It's easy to destroy. It's keeping it together and building. That's, the hard part, but it's the beautiful part.
What is something you eat that others may find unpopular? Maybe even say, that's nasty. I can't believe you said
Sea moss.
No,
you eat it raw or do you mix it in your
No,
coffee?
I just, if I could do tequila back in the days, I could definitely do some sea moss. I just go whoop.
Anything
and then
else?
Coconut water. I eat stuff for purpose.
Right.
I've tried different things. I tried chapulines in Mexico. I thought that was like a big deal.
How about Rocky? Raw eggs?
Oh, well, the last 2 years of my bodybuilding, I did it vegetarian. So I would down cartons. I was sponsored by a company, liquid, and I would down, I don't remember how many anymore. I don't know, 30 maybe in one day.
Sheesh.
Just down them. I couldn't even make them anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Just to get the protein? I mean, instead of cooking them, you're like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead
No, just down it.
Yeah, that's
My dad used to do it just with 2 eggs, and he would get up at 4 a.m. to go to work, and he would have 2 raw eggs with wine. I just skipped the wine.
What?
Smoke the cannabis
Some wine?
instead.
What's the morning thing in the Latin culture where you milk the cow and you milk the goat? They do it early in the morning, like around 6.
Oh, pajarete.
Yeah. Did your dad ever do that or?
My dad didn't, but the ranches here, I've gone to several because remember, I'm a bail bonds or used to be a bail bonds. I knew a lot of people in the ranches growing the yerbita.
There's more to that.
I've been to one, and
well, there's more to it just being milk.
Wait, what do you mean?
It's usually milk with sugar cane.
Oh yeah, tequila. Yeah,
it's tequila. It's milk.
Yeah.
He's like, what you mean? That's not
chocolate.
milk.
Right. That's the new name for goat milk.
Wrong.
Yeah, I did it with a lady friend.
Oh,
shout out
so
to her too, because she was like, yeah, I want to go get goat milk, and we
You're
left
what?
one night, and we ended up morning, and we went up to this person's house, and he had horses, he had cows, he had any animal you can think of, right in the backyard of his home. And there was a line in the morning. They're all
Oh
getting
yeah.
with the cocoa and the cinnamon and that tequila. It was like
Oh yeah.
it was like a tequila, but it's not a
The tequila
tequila.
would
It's not a
kill all the
tequila out
germs.
here. It's not a. You can't get that tequila out here. They
No.
don't sell it out here. But he had it. He was like, he got that big old large styrofoam cup. He's like, let me hook you up.
Wow.
Poured it. Milk the cow. I mean, milk the goat. I had goat milk first, then I had cow milk.
Yeah.
But it was a great experience.
Oh, that's delicious. I used to
Yeah, it
get
was
that
great.
all the time.
Nora, you lucky you on this episode. Right here.
Oh.
'Cause I was about to
Oh,
go
the udders, man. He's
Yeah,
grabbing
nah,
the-
I won't go there.
Forgive
I was about to get you with that.
So you brought your book.
I did.
What section, chapter, page do you most admire about your book?
All of it, because I was just very
What part of it? Okay, let me say it this way. What part of it do you hope to hear back feedback from? When people like, maybe you might not express it, but in your inner heart, you're saying, I'd love to hear some feedback regarding this part of my book.
I've been really blessed with getting a lot of feedback because I'm just so open. But definitely coming out of the darkness was the main thing, being able to share that, and that if I could do it, I always say, if this grandma can do it, you can do it too. And it's always about taking those steps and not being scared to be yourself. And it's okay to be different, so just be happy, and your happiness is going to look different than everybody else's.
When do people get to that part? In the middle?
At the end.
At the end.
At the end.
Yeah.
At the end.
Nice. So we're
The key ingredient, right?
yeah.
There's no surprise on that. The key ingredient is love. It's always love.
So we're definitely at the fourth quarter of this show here, and we're gonna even lighten it even further. So you had 3 words to describe yourself. What was light, love, and fire? Now, when you say fire, the more like passion or enthusiasm?
Well, everything, and just everything that the element is.
Fire burns down
It
things.
burns things, but it also keeps you warm, and it cooks
Right.
your food, and it takes a lot of fire to accomplish things.
Agreed.
And I'm thankful for that. Before, I used to think, growing up the way I grew up, and there, there's things that I'll share maybe in the next book, more of, my personal childhood and more in that depth. But there was a lot of darkness, and for a long time, I thought it was just darkness, just fire. But then once you get over one step or one bad thing or one dark thing, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I can get over that. And then it makes it easier to do the next thing. So wrapping it back to bodybuilding, I think that gives you that direction and that feeling. It makes you feel better every time you work out, and then you start seeing result. And that gives you that, like, oh, I could do it. You just got to take those steps. It just gives you more reassurance that there could be progress, and that there is, a process. You just have to overcome it, a challenge. And that's life in general, because life is always challenges. You can't say, oh my God, it's horrible. It's just challenges, because every challenge, when you learn the lesson, then you can overcome it and then not affect you so much, because it is like how we react to it. As fire, I could burn stuff down, or I could just turn around and not give it any attention and keep doing what I'm doing. And that's a lot of, if I could say one thing right now at the end, is stay in your lane. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, because that's hard. You can't compare yourself to, like, and it's so easy, because right now we're on, on this device that you click and you see from like the richest rich to the poorest poor. How can you compare?
Yeah,
We're in the same universe. Like, someone's dying and being tortured and all this horrible stuff, and then another person just literally bathing in gold. Like,
Yeah.
has a car made out of gold.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can't compare yourself to anybody else. It's just trying to live your part and your best part. And you choose what part you're going to play.
You versus you.
So you're going to be traveling a lot this year or soon.
Yes, I start in March and to Argentina.
What are you going to Argentina for?
That one is just for me to get ready for the rest of the year. That's just for me to fill up the cup.
Have you been?
Does it have to do with INBA?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. I'm going with one of my friends. She is from over there, and we're going and filling up the cup because before giving it to anybody else, I have to fill up the cup.
Nice.
So the season starts in March. So I'm just going to do one on my own first.
And when you say the season, it's your correspondence job
Yes.
that you do.
So I do all the main shows. I do kind of like the World Championship, and that one's in a different part of the world every year. And then I do the Latin America, and that's in a different part of Latin America. And then just depending, it's usually wherever I'm able to speak, porque hablo español, puedo entender muchos países. But at a lot of places, like they're going to Tokyo in May, it makes no sense for me to go, and I don't understand unless I have a translator. And eventually I will. But I also do a lot of traveling just on my own. It has nothing to do with the INBA. And it's about spiritual awakening and connecting the dots wherever my heart or God tells me to go, however you want to call it. So this year, I'm putting together a spiritual awakening, and I'm opening it up to a few people. And it's going to be in October to Peru. So I've already been there.
Ooh, okay.
But it is one of the 7 wonders of the world. And I would like to share that with a few. I'm thinking of a small
pyramids?
number.
Inca pyramids?
Yes, Machu Picchu.
Wow. Machu Picchu.
Did you have a question regarding traveling?
No.
No, I thought you had one earlier about the spiritual awakening.
Oh, I did.
Ayahuasca.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, what's your take on the whole?
So I think that that our ancient medicine is real, like our ancestral medicine, I should call it, is real, and our ancestors did know. A lot of the stuff is now proven with science what these plants do. I'll give you one quick example before we get to ayahuasca. Sage. When you burn sage, back in the days, they would say we're burning, getting rid of the spirits. Well, spirits get you sick, right? You would get sick. Oh my God, the spirit got you. Well, now we know that when you burn sage, you kill bacteria in the air.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Same thing with onions.
I didn't know about that. Sage can cure bacteria in the air. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And same thing with onions. Onions, even in my town where my family's from, in Jalisco, Carlos Totican, they still put the onions because they don't prepare the body. They don't cremate it over there. They bury the body within 24 hours. So they hacen un velado for 24 hours. So they put onions underneath the coffin so that all the bacteria goes underneath the coffin.
Wow.
I've also heard when you're sick,
you put it all around you.
or next to you, or with a
I
cup,
cut it.
with a
You
cup
should have
of
seen
water.
me in COVID. I had it everywhere. Onions everywhere.
Like, cut me another one.
And then you put them on the bottom of your feet. If you have something, you put them you cut it, and you put them underneath your feet, and you wrap it, and you sleep with it for 3 days. Whatever you have will be gone, even with 1 day. But you got to do the treatment for 3 days.
Is there a special way to cut it? You just cut it in half?
No. I just usually put like
It's like in and out.
clear plastic around my feet, and then socks because I don't want to smell.
So saran wrap it and then close it.
You know, in and out slices there. Just how you do it. Just
Yeah, that's true. It does pull toxins. It does.
Great.
That's crazy.
And then if you want to get it from the inside, just chew raw garlic, and you'll start sweating within 5 minutes.
I've tried that before. That's crazy.
You know, I've heard something also.
Hasta curandera ya salí.
To be careful about onion that's been out for like a long period of time because it's been doing that. It's been absorbing it.
Yeah. So you throw it out. You can't use it.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. I think we're almost at the 2-minute warning here. But before we go there, is anyone else in your family into bodybuilding?
No. They're very awake with everything, with food, everything, but not into being as open as mom.
Interesting.
Mom is like, come on, bikini, always in the public eye. Even before that, I was always in front of the camera.
All right.
They're opposites.
Interesting. Yeah, but you wouldn't be surprised if one of your grandchildren ends up wanting to compete.
Maybe, but the main thing is not everybody has to compete, but you have to train for life. You know, a lot of the people say, Nora, what are you, are you training? Are you coming back? Because everybody thinks I'm going to come back all the time. Every time I post a bikini photo. Nora, are you coming back? No. What are you training for? Life. I'm not training for a competition. I'm training for life. So my children and grandchildren understand the importance about your body, you know, and the food you put in. What source are you getting it from? What kind of chicken are you buying? What kind of cow are you eating?
All that makes
Now
all
it's
that
like
adds up.
grass fed, grass finished if you're going to eat some meat, you know?
Right. All right. That leads us to these last three questions about eavesdropping on a historical conversation. And you had mentioned you would have liked to have been at the United States Constitution when it was written.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I think that would be, I want to hear those conversations. I mean, all those great minds that got together to write that.
When they call it the Great Experiment.
Yeah.
And things like, gets that kind of a nickname.
Yeah.
Interesting. Have you done any type of, saw a movie, read a book that inspired that, or just your own patriotism?
My son wrote a book called Truth Between the Friction. And it's all truth in one book, like from history, from everything. And he talked about an encounter that George Washington had before he won the war. And it was, they say it was God, or, you know, some people say it was a spaceship, but they told him that he was going to win. And he says it was God, right? That told him he was going to win. And it was this bright light. And I was like, he like had so much to say, and not only him, but everybody else that was around that. And so that time was such you got to remember, we broke away from the British. They were taking everything over. No one ever stood up like that. You know what I mean? Right. So that was such a moment in history that broke us away from chains and like that hierarchy. That.
Did you ever hear the comment that Benjamin Franklin made when they were walking out of having just signed it? They said, we just signed the Constitution and hopefully we can keep it.
Yeah. I heard, and maybe I'm wrong, but where they said that the moment they take God out of it, the country would fall because it's in God we trust. Mm-hmm. So it was like a prophecy, like he was at his wit's end. He was done. He was ready to quit. And then he had that revelation, whether it was spirit, God, alien, whatever you want to call it. He had that revelation to keep on fighting and keep taking those steps. If he would have given up, we would have lost.
That's true.
And then our world would be very different right now. So it's all part of the grand plan.
Mm-hmm.
So one of your bucket lists, and I can't believe you still want to do this, but you haven't done it yet, skydive.
I haven't done it because my family doesn't want me to do it. They're like, Mom, Grandma, don't do it.
You're gonna be on. First of all, you can't do it by yourself.
I can't ask them. I gotta just do it.
You have to do so many hours before you do it by yourself. But
no, I wouldn't do it by myself.
Yeah, you someone's gonna be on your back, which is it's safe. It's safe.
Lake Elsinore.
Would you do it?
Yeah, I would do it.
I mean, we got the bread. You know, people.
I'll do it. My mom wants to do it.
But do you know that we got the best place, Lake Elsinore?
They do, and Temecula.
Did you know?
Yeah, Elsinore and Temecula.
Called "Did You Know" on my page, by the way. But did you know that they come from like everywhere from Europe to do their training? The military in Lake Elsinore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The military from Europe.
What's going on in Lake Elsinore?
Nothing. They just have a lot of. They do that.
The plane jumping. They jump on the plane.
Yeah,
they've been doing it for years.
I never heard that.
Because it's empty.
Yeah,
I heard the one in Temecula.
Where are you gonna fly into the Cables?
Oh, that's
is that why they do the air balloons?
Really?
Yes, in Temecula and all the planet.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Him and the trainer is like off the ground, no parachute.
I guess I'll do. I did the fake one where you just
with the air blows.
Yeah, I did that one.
Where'd you do that at? Universal?
No, I
Ontario?
did that in Vista or San Marcos.
Oh, Vista.
How'd you do? Did you flip around?
I loved it. I thought that was so much fun.
You was a pro right there. Like,
Yeah.
That's like me at the
I
skating
like
ring. I skate on the carpet. On the carpet, I'm the best. I'm like, oh yeah, I got the dance
Yeah.
moves.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you could tell, but I love challenges. I don't know. I'm gonna take something else up. Like I don't know. I might do some like martial arts or
Martial arts would be cool.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have time.
I have a question. How long have you been? I don't think you answered it. How long have you been a vegetarian?
Since 2016, January 2016. Last year, I took a I started switching everything up. I started the year eating meat. I went to Texas. I was eating meat at my sister's house. Then I went to Rome. Anyways, I started eating meat and my body just didn't like
You
it.
rejected it.
Mm.
Yeah, I started breaking out tremendously.
Yeah, it happens.
And then I said, okay. So then I did an 8-day fast of no food for 8 days.
You did an 8-day water fast?
I did water for 3 days, only water and sea moss. And then on the 4th day, I incorporated coconut juice because everything started to spin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a lot to lose, so I'm tiny. So
I
everything.
get it. Yeah.
So after the 4th day, I did coconut juice and pressed juices. And I went to the 8th day. And it coincided with the eclipse we had in April.
Wow.
So I did it all the way through the eclipse. And then
Wow.
I ate.
Was
I had
that-
other women that were joining me, and
That's huge.
there was no right or wrong. Like some did it for 2 days, some did it for 3 days. One girl did it all the way to 7 because 7 is completion.
Yeah.
I did it 8. Why not? Because if I did it 7, let me do it to the eclipse.
I heard it becomes more of a spiritual experience when you do it longer than a certain amount of days.
Well, you're even become more aware of even your breath. And that's the key, I think.
The 3rd day, you
because
have like a bunch of energy.
I don't even want to talk. I didn't even want to talk.
And you're
That
not
was
supposed
cool.
to tell people you're fasting. That's how
I
spiritual
know
it
you,
is.
but I'm trying to I know my friend that's a pastor, the one that did it for 7 days. She didn't tell anybody.
You're not supposed to.
And but I'm trying to attract it.
Gotcha.
So I'm trying to have other people do it
Yeah.
because they have a lot of shit to declutter.
Fasting awareness. I get it. Yeah.
No, it is. I think all of it is. Even like, I don't know, you help a homeless. You don't want to put the camera in the homeless face, but I will put like, I made him a bag and you can see the bag that I made the bag. Maybe someone else will help. Maybe that'll.
You just want to
create-
trigger people's mindsets.
Yeah.
to-
I mean,
Mhm.
sharing is caring. And I think we spark people's,
Mm-hmm.
again, we can go back to the beginning of the whole thing where I became aware because they did a podcast. Now we become aware because everybody's trying to be the best version on Instagram.
Hope you're eavesdropping.
I'm telling you.
All right. Last question. You have a go-to karaoke song? We have a karaoke
My
box.
way. Don't make me sing.
There
I'm
we go.
not.
It's just-
Yeah, my way. The grandkids are always like, grandma, that, or like I'll go really crazy to like a teeny bopper song. I go to like Pepper Raquel.
Pepper Raquel.
Yeah, that's like the teeny bopper.
Wow.
I'll go to that.
Wow.
You
Who
know,
does My Way again?
Frank Sinatra.
Oh,
And Vicente
that song.
Fernandez.
Oh, I was
Oh,
thinking.
so that's you're talking 70s.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have,
yeah.
I have it tattooed on my rib in Spanish, a mi manera.
Do it my way. That
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
I do that, and then I go to the teeny bopper that's like 16 years old.
That's funny.
Talk about rumors or something. I do all that with the kids.
Well, Nora Reynoso, thank you very much.
Me hicieron quedarme tarde. Let me tell you, I don't do this for everybody. As you can see, guys, I'm tired now. Past my sleep.
Thank you so much for staying, for being
For
so
a
open,
purpose.
and all the energy you shared, the
Thank
wisdom you shared.
Thank you for your time. I
Oh,
appreciate
Where can
it.
they get your book? And you have to
Yes.
show them your book. as
Okay,
well.
so Amazon. I put it at the cheapest price that Amazon would allow me so that everybody can get their hands on it. It's an easy it's a story. I tell you a story. As you can tell, I love stories. But it tells you like little things that you can do to really change your life. And you don't have to have a lot of money. You just have to have the will.
And what's
That's
the
it.
title? What's the title of the book?
Rescuing myself.
Rescuing myself.
No one's going to rescue you. You better do it yourself.
Rescuing myself.
Rescuing Myself by Nora Reynoso. You can
On
get
Amazon.
this on Amazon.
Now, Nora, could you
And
tell
it's
us?
also en español. Rescatándome en español.
That's
Huge.
also important.
I did it in Spanish first because Spanish is my first language. So,
Beautiful.
a darle a la raza primero y luego en inglés.
Órale,
I wish I
pues.
knew what you just said.
Gotta
Well,
give our people first and then go.
audience, I really hope you guys enjoyed the show. It was awesome and getting them a chance to meet a world champion bodybuilder.
Thank you.
And now we're signing off. You guys have a great one. God bless.
All right.
Good
Thank you guys. Good
night.
night. You guys have a good one.
Stay accountable.